The day we buried my father. The sky was gray, the air was cold, and I held my older sister Emily's hand so tightly I thought we'd never let go. We were all each other had left. Mom walked out when we were kids, and Dad was the glue that kept our little world from falling apart. He died suddenly. Heart attack at 52. No warning, no goodbye, just gone. The will reading happened a week later. Emily and I sat across from the lawyer, both red-eyed and hollow. Dad left the house to both of us, 50-50. His savings were split the same way. There was one strange line at the end, a sealed envelope addressed to me, with instructions that it could only be opened when the time is right, and only by Sarah. The lawyer slid it across the table. Emily stared at it like it burned her fingers just being near it. I tucked it into my purse and forgot about it. Grief does that, makes everything else feel unimportant. For years, Emily and I leaned on each other. She was 32, I was 28. We turned Dad's house into our home. We laughed in the kitchen, where he used to make pancakes shaped like dinosaurs. We cried on the porch swing he built with his own hands. She became my best friend, my only family. I trusted her with every secret, every fear, every dream. But what I didn't know back then was that Emily had been waiting for the perfect moment to take everything that was supposed to be mine. It started small. Little comments about money being tight, how the house was too big for just two people, how maybe we should think about selling, splitting the cash, moving on with our lives. I brushed it off. The house was Dad's heart, every nail, every paint stroke. I wasn't ready to let it go. Then one afternoon, I came home early from work and found Emily in Dad's old study, papers everywhere. She jumped when she saw me, slammed a folder shut. "What are you doing?" I asked, laughing nervously. "Just organizing taxes," she said too fast. That night I couldn't sleep. Something felt wrong in my stomach, the same ache I had the week Dad died. A month later, a letter arrived from a law firm I didn't recognize. Inside was a notice. Emily had quietly filed to force the sale of the house, claiming I was financially irresponsible and unable to pay my half of the taxes and upkeep. She forged documents, my signature, bank statements I'd never seen. She told the court I was drowning in secret debt and that selling was the only fair solution. I confronted her that same night. She didn't even flinch. "Sarah, you're too emotional about this place," she said, voice calm and cold. "You're holding us both back. I'm doing this for your own good." My own good? She was planning to buy out my half for pennies, using some shady appraisal she paid for. She'd already found a cash buyer, some developer who wanted to tear Dad's house down and build condos. I felt the world crack open beneath me. The sister I loved, the one I mourned with, the one I thought would die before she hurt me. She looked me in the eyes and lied for money. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just sat on Dad's old chair and cried until there was nothing left. That's when I remembered the envelope, 6 years sealed away in my dresser drawer. My hands shook as I tore it open. Inside was a second deed to the house, dated 2 weeks before Dad died. He had quietly transferred the entire property into a trust with me as the sole beneficiary and trustee. Emily's name wasn't on it anywhere. There was a letter in Dad's handwriting. "Sarah, my sweet girl, if you're reading this, something went wrong, and I'm not there to protect you. Your sister loves you, but love and greed can live in the same heart." I saw the way she watched the bank accounts. "This house is yours. It always was. Use this when you need it most. I love you forever. Dad." I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. Dad knew. 6 years ago, he saw what I couldn't. The next day, I walked into court with the trust documents. Emily turned white when the judge read them aloud. Her forged papers crumbled. The forced sale was thrown out. The house, Dad's house, was mine alone, legally, undeniably. Emily tried to apologize in the hallway, tears streaming. Sarah, I was scared. I made a mistake. I looked at her and felt nothing. Not hate, just emptiness. You didn't just try to take my home, I said quietly. You tried to erase Dad all over again. I walked away. I haven't spoken to her since. Some people call it revenge. I call it Dad keeping his promise from beyond the grave. He reached out one last time and pulled me out of the fire. Now, when I sit on that porch swing at sunset, I don't feel alone anymore. I feel watched over, protected, loved in a way no betrayal can ever touch. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes family is the father who saw tomorrow,